spiritual counseling is beyond traditional therapy. It's beyond the mind, because most people use drugs because they want to quiet the mind, right? Mm-hmm. What does the mind do? It goes the past and the future. It's monkey mind. It drives people crazy. What do drugs do? It stops it. So there's another way to do it besides drugs. It's learning about the computer and the body that we have, the gift that we have. We've been tricked. No one told us about it. No one really told us what we're made of.
So walk me through how it works at Seasons with you. Are you treating everyone at Seasons, or is it only people that are interested in
everybody
addressing spirituality?
We have 4 houses now, right? We have 4 houses, 4 different programs. And I basically get to see everyone. So that's how it works.
4 houses meaning 4 people?
No, 4 different houses. There's a professional program. There's a mental health program. There's regular Seasons. And then there's sort of there's one in Agora if you want less of a program and you just want to, I wouldn't say it's an outpatient, but it's less intense.
Okay. The one that we're all familiar with, the typical what they call rehab, is a 30-day, 90-day?
30 days. But 90 days is the magic number. You know why?
No.
Did you ever ask yourself why? Because the brain gets over a habit in 90 days. It needs 90 days for the brain to
But many
heal.
are going just for 30 days.
Exactly.
So,
and that's a problem. We will maybe be seeing them again.
So why is it all based on 30 days?
It's a very expensive program. And
how much is it?
Now it could be $70,000. I'm not really sure about that. But it is expensive.
Why is it
well,
so
you
much?
get a lot. You get a lot. You see, it's not just an AA program. At Seasons, you can go if you want to, but we offer different pieces of the pie. You see, so there's many different modalities. Imagine working with a lot of different modalities and practitioners. You get the best of everything. So, if
it's also a beautiful place, I'm going to guess.
Yes. But it bothers me when people make fun of that, like it's some kind of social club, because there's real healing that goes on. And I'm really proud to work with my team, because this is no joke. If you come in and you meet us, you're going to get it, man. You're going to get it at the deep dive level that you guys call deep dive. It's a deep dive, and you better be ready for it.
Now, does insurance cover it?
Yes.
Some portion of it, I presume.
Yes, it does.
Okay, but otherwise, you got to have a bit of money to be able to get in there. Your average person is
Yes,
not
I've had the
afford
privilege
it.
to meet some really amazing people. Stars, celebrities, CEOs. And guess what? Money doesn't buy happiness.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
You could see that.
Right?
That's been
and
proven
the people
again
who
and
have
again.
everything in the world, people I was, would look up to, I had the privilege to meet. And we all suffer, and we all suffer the same. And that is the truth.
Why is it, do you think, that celebrities seem to have a higher percentage of issues with addiction?
That is the greatest question. Because they get so into the BS. They need it. There's the outward praise and everything, and you get really addicted to that. And what happens when it ends? That's why I've also met some really amazing sports people. When their career's over, they're drinking because they need it. So there it becomes about a spiritual journey, because you got to keep it real, right? So I call it a return to the authentic self. We all are on that journey, right? It's the return to the truth of who we are. And believe it or not, whatever people think they're doing, buying houses, getting married, we're healing. And we're all the same in that.
Do you see a commonality of addicts having issues from childhood?
Yes.
And what is that?
Absolutely.
And
trauma, pain, reality, can't deal with it. That's why I cannot stand the shaming around drugs and alcohol. It's the worst thing that could happen, because there's a reason. Why are you using?
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been sexually abused, if you've seen violence, maybe the drugs help you live. Maybe you would have killed yourself. You see, so it could be a gift in some weird way.
It's a great point, because people for some reason, what's popping in my head is gay, and how people talk about that. Oh, it's a choice, it's not a choice, and this, that, and the other. And everybody now at least has recognized that gay is not a choice. And I think that the same thing is true with addiction. That addiction is not a choice. These people aren't choosing to drink gallons of alcohol or all these drugs. They have an addiction problem because it's something associated with something in their childhood, that some traumas that they're trying to overcome, and they don't want to be an addict, right? They're not. I don't think they're choosing to be an addict. Do you agree with that?
That's correct.
Yeah.
But there are also other reasons. That's one is the trauma and the abuse.
Well, but let me stay on trauma and abuse, because you agreed wholeheartedly with that. Do you think that's something that you see across the spectrum of all addicts? Is some childhood trauma?
Yes.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be like huge trauma. It could also be criticism. Do you know that being criticized as a child is the worst thing that could happen to someone? Why? I call that the soul wound. We all have it. It happens young. And you have to track that. And what happens is, here's the thing. It's not what other people do to us that's the problem. It's what we do to ourselves because of it. So what happens is when you're criticized as a child, you left yourself. You actually split from yourself and you criticize yourself. And there's a separation. So the work that I do is a soul retrieval, bringing back the part of yourself that got separated and divided. Because in spirituality, you need to be aligned with yourself, in power. So when you split off, they do this in politics too. Split people, right? East, west, north, south, good, bad, and divide the people, and then you get to control them, right? So think of it inside. When we split off from ourselves, we're gone. And until that peace is put back, we have the same problems over and over again. Do you know that? It's really one problem that just repeats.
Yeah. No, I think what I always say with children is you could never give them too much love or too much discipline. And what I mean by love, obviously, is unconditional love from the parent, so that they know that they unconditionally love you. And then discipline is just teaching a child that you can't always get what you want.
Yes.
So you're at the toy store and they want this toy,
yes,
and they're going nuts for this toy. And a lot of parents will give in because you just want to shut the kid up. But for the child to experience the feelings of not getting the toy, walking out, and then realizing that, the sun is still shining and you're onto something else and you've totally forgotten about that toy, to deal with your emotions of not getting what you want, because life is about not getting what you want.
Exactly.
Right?
And which you bring up another reason why people come to rehab. They are spoiled. There's too much money. And in the Kabbalah, they call it the bread of shame. It's not your money. When you take something that's not yours, you will pay the price. You understand? So that's what that is. Too much money too easily.
Yeah.
And you become really spoiled in the soul.
But if my theory would be, if you were raised with proper discipline and sufficient love, you can balance those things. There are celebrities who manage to manage the money okay and manage the celebrity okay. They're probably in a minority, but I think when you've come from a very strong, good foundation of an upbringing, you probably can handle the fame and fortune a little bit better than those
agree.
Without that background.
I agree, because you're learning spiritual principles, right? Gratitude, appreciation, working hard, knowing where it comes from, all that. That's a character stuff. That doesn't really have to do with money at all. That just is.
So addicts have some deep-rooted issue. You would call it a spirituality issue.
A soul issue.
A soul issue, going back to childhood. But there's some deep-seated thing, and that's, I just want to go back to your point about not shaming them again, because I do think it's so important. And, they talk about the tough love, and oh my gosh, he's using again. We're kicking him out of the house because he's using again. He's hiding it. He's lying about it. He's using again, and we're going to kick him out of the house and leave him out on the street. I just saw that movie, Beautiful Boy. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. I really related to it. It's like it's stuff I see all the time.
But there was the only thing I didn't like about Beautiful Boy is it shows how these 12-step programs can not work for many people. They show the father struggling with it. The kid is out on the street begging to come home, and the father thinks he's doing the right thing by not accepting his own child who desperately needs a roof over his house.
How many
back in the home.
times did he do that? How many times did he rescue his son?
Many times, but I would rescue. I mean, let's have a conversation about that, because I think he should continue to rescue the son, because to our point, there's no shame. This person has a deep problem, and the 12-step programs, going to AA, in my opinion, doesn't address those deep-seated problems. It sounds like what you do is trying to address those deep-seated problems. Did that kid in Beautiful Boy have a psychologist, spiritual therapist, whatever you want to call it, who helped him work through deep childhood issues? No, not according to the movie. That never happened.
Right. Well,
And so
I
that's
don't know
why-
what kind
sorry.
of therapy he had, but there comes a time where you do have to say enough is enough.